Right now, Raphael Esparza, MyBookie.ag. Get in and play on your radio. Esparza, what's going on?
Not much. What's going on with you?
Oh, just trying to make the week. I appreciate you moving around for me.
That's all right. I apologize for missing you last week.
No, that's okay. That's all right. You had stuff going on. Hey, before we get into March Madness, I want to get your take on this Charlie Baker deal with the NCAA trying to ban prop bets in college sports. Where are you at on this?
I understand why, but you're putting toothpaste back into the tube. So I totally understand why. I get college kids. Before you couldn't bet college kids on prop bets many moons ago, and now all of a sudden you can. I understand it. And the same person that does betting for odds for both sides, U.S. and global, that'll make my global business really good. People would still want, because the global books are going to still put it out there. So now people are going to complain about the global books still doing action on it, and the USA books don't on it. So again, you're putting toothpaste back in the tube, but totally understand it.
Yeah, and I'm not so sure. I mean, I know some states have gotten on board, but I don't know that they get this whole thing done, right? I mean, there's some states I'm sure that will kick on this, you would think.
Each state has different rules, so I can see some states saying yes. I'll use Alabama or even Mississippi. I'll say Mississippi might jump on board and say, "Wait, we're not taking that," but Vegas will continue taking that, or another state. So it would not shock me if you see a couple states say yes, we're on board. New Jersey won't. I can guarantee you they won't.
Let's get your take on some of these games tomorrow and Friday. Alabama takes on North Carolina. And by the way, what's up with these late tips? I seen a lot of people griping about that. But we've got some late tip-offs Thursday and Friday.
Ooh, you East Coast people. Take a nap. I'm tired of East Coast people complaining about times and stuff like that. What about the California people or the West Coast people who are working during game time? So I don't want to hear about times and stuff, but I think I said on your show, I have North Carolina cutting down the nets. I have a nice ticket of 17-1 to cut down the nets. I like them against Alabama.
So you've got North Carolina cutting the nets down?
Yes, I do.
Yep, that's who I've got as well. North Carolina cutting them down. So if they take care of Alabama, they'll move on. How real is – well, who is realer? In the Vegas lines you guys put out, I'm looking at Penn Gaming right here, would say that they're pretty close. Illinois takes on Iowa State Thursday, 9:09 tip. The Iowa State Cyclones are 1.5-point favorite in this ballgame, total 146. Who do you like?
Iowa State must be the quietest number 2 team I've ever seen in the NCAA tournament. I don't understand why they get no love. I like Iowa State in this one. I think they can really make some noise and shock a couple teams. I think they beat Illinois.
NC State on Friday takes on Marquette. That's a Friday tip at 6:09 p.m. Marquette, 6.5-point favorite, 151 the total. NC State on this Cinderella run, they ran through the ACC tournament, first and second round. Does it end Friday, or do they advance?
It ends Friday. I think the slipper comes off. And is 6:09 too late for the East Coast people, or are they eating with the family? So give me Marquette. I think the slipper comes off.
What about back to Thursday? Clemson takes on Arizona, the other underdog in the ACC. Arizona, 7.5-point favorite, total 152. Who you got?
I like Clemson plus the points on this one, but I think Arizona sneaks out a victory.
UConn, 11.5 points over San Diego State. Are they that much better than San Diego State this year?
No. Everyone's thinking, oh, look how good Connecticut plays so far in the tournament. They beat a Cologne in round 1, Stenson, and they beat up a bad Northwestern team who had 2 of their star guys injured coming in this tournament. I think UConn sneaks by, but give me the plus points. I'm hoping this one goes up to 12, which might. I like San Diego State on this plus the points.
Raphael Esparza of MyBookie.ag on a Wednesday. Get in and play. Talking NCAA tournament. Back at it tomorrow. Friday night, Creighton takes on Tennessee. Blue Jays, 2.5-point dogs to the Tennessee Volunteers. Totals at 144, and it should be a good one.
Baseball starts tomorrow. That's why I'm going for the Blue Jays in this game. I like Creighton over Tennessee. I think the 3 ball is going to be hitting. Would not be shocked if it's a little bit up-tempo game. I like Creighton to upset Tennessee. Duke
and Houston. Talk with David Glenn out of the great state of North Carolina last hour. David Glenn show's been on in that part of the world for several decades. He likes Duke. Now, he's an ACC guy. He likes Duke versus Houston. Who do you like?
My twin brother's a big Dookie fan, so it's really going to be hard for me to cheer for Duke. I think this one's a close one. I think Duke can sneak by this one. If this is a high offensive game like Texas A&M played, then I think Duke advances. If it's a low-scoring game, Houston wins. I'm going to say Duke advances.
And Gonzaga, 9 straight years in the Sweet 16. They're a 5.5-point dog to Purdue. Total 154. Does it end Friday for Gonzaga, or do they advance it to Sunday?
I didn't think Purdue would play this well in the first 2 games. Edey just looks unstoppable. If the big man from Gonzaga can stretch the court out and hit some threes, then I think Gonzaga upsets Purdue. But if Edey's just too powerful, then I think Purdue wins. I'm going to say Gonzaga covers, but Purdue advances.
Speaking of baseball, where are you at on this Ohtani thing? Give me the highs, give me the lows. Is he in trouble? What's going to happen?
I have two mixed feelings. This reminds me of Michael Jordan when all of a sudden he left to go play baseball when everyone kind of thought he got suspended for 2 years for gambling.
Yep.
That's the bad side of it. The good side of it is I think people don't realize how much money Ohtani has. He's getting $80 million probably from Japan from his endorsements over there. I can guarantee you he has more than 2 people that know his passwords, his checking account, his savings account. It would not be shocked me that the guy just did steal all his money in bad place bets. If Ohtani did place bets, I do believe it was probably just maybe at soccer. I don't think it was. Japan has really strict rules on betting their leagues, so I don't think he would come to America and start betting our leagues. I do believe there was probably just soccer, maybe some other mix sprinkled on there, but I don't think he placed the bets, and I can guarantee you other people around his entourage have his account numbers.
So what do you think happens to him, or does anything happen to him?
I think it all depends on what the feds find out. I think that if it does come out that he was placing bets, I think it was only soccer. I think he maybe get a suspension or a slap on the wrist, but it's going to be very hard. It all depends on what Boyer says with his eviction, because another thing people can keep on forgetting, you can't bet in California. So everything he was doing was illegally. Now, if he was doing this in Mississippi, Vegas and all that, it's legal to bet sports there. So you have to throw that in factor that you cannot bet sports in California. Everything else is illegal. So it all depends on what Boyer says under oath and all that. But it's going to be very interesting.
So what do you think about Pete Rose? Of course, he's got this pings him instantly. And he's like, look, if I'd had an interpreter in the 70s and 80s, I'd be in the Hall of Fame.
Well, Pete Yoles used to tell me and my supervisors when we would see him at Caesar's Palace when I used to have to put the Emerald Downs on the big screen when he would play the horses or a dog track and all that. He always used to tell us if he told the truth the first time, he wouldn't be in as much trouble if he was now.
Hey, tell everybody else what they can play and get into, dude.
It's a crazy time. It's March Madness is still her Sweet 16. Baseball throws its first pitches tomorrow. Cubs play the Rangers. Cubs win tomorrow. They start their perfect winning streak to win the World Series again. Don't forget, soccer gets back in action. MLS, English Premier League this weekend. We got UFC, NBA, NHL playoffs are just around the corner. So don't forget to sign up today at MyBookie, win today, and cash today.
Esparza, appreciate it, man. Have a great Easter holiday. Look, we'll talk next week.
Take it easy. Have a safe trip.
See ya. Raphael Esparza of MyBookie.ag. Get in and play. We're brought to you by our friends at Boykin Contractors. Call or text 601-951-7336 or find them on Facebook. Boykin Contractors, experienced roofers, and, of course, can handle your insurance claims. Also licensed contractors, bonded and insured to help you with that bathroom or kitchen remodel. Also additions or patio or outdoor entertainment. 601-951-7336. That's 601-951-7336.